Hey guys, it's Josh Lloyd. It's a pre-game show for Sunday's action. We've got two games that are done, or one of them that's just about done. Is that Clippers game done? No, it's still going. Got 5 minutes left on that one. The Spurs and the Nets have played already, and then we've got a bunch of other games still to come. Another 8 games still on the slate. We're going to look at DFS for the 4 major providers. We're going to do Yahoo Best Bets today as well. We're going to chat. We're going to talk news information, injury news. Big one that just dropped. Dylan Brooks out maybe to the All-Star break. If you don't have injured reserve slot, even if you do, he's probably a drop. D'Anthony Melton's the clear ad. Deeper leagues will add Zaire Williams and Tyus Jones and Kyle Anderson get bits of bumps, but Melton's the clear 12-team ad there. Levert remains out tomorrow, but news in Milwaukee is the big ragu. Dante DiVincenzo is off the injury report, and Pat Connaughton is questionable. Drew Holiday remains out. Gary Trent has been ruled out for today. Garrison Matthews is in today. Norman Powell has joined COVID protocols. So there's some news there in Portland. Might be some other news in Portland coming soon. Rui Hachimura is going to play today for the first time all season. Klay Thompson's going to play today for the first time all season. Now we're just waiting on John Isaac. Amazingly, Klay Thompson tore his Achilles on the back of tearing his ACL 3 months after Isaac tore his ACL, and he's going to return before him. Might be good to get some information, Orlando, on what the hell is going on there. Be great. All right, let's do Yahoo Best Bets, which is linked in the chat. It's linked in the description as well. Let's see, which one do I like the most here. The Wolves are a 7-point favorite over the Rockets. I know Patrick Beverley's questionable, but yeah, the Wolves are good, and the Rockets are not, and I think they beat them by more than 7. Check out the rest of the article, linked below. And tell me what you think. We've had a pretty good week last week. Finished Friday with a 4-1 record. I think we didn't have a losing day all week, so that was pretty strong. So let's move across and look at the lineups.
Let's get it on, Gilly.
All right, there's the lineups. Let's see what we've got confirmed before we do DFS. The Wizards: Dinwiddie, Beal, Caldwell Pope, Kuzma, and Gafford. Tom Bryant returning in a week apparently as well. The Magic: Anthony, Harris, Wagner, Akiki, and Bumba. That's because Wendell Carter Jr. is out. The Pelicans are starting Graham Temple. Man, I wish they'd get over the Garrett Temple bullshit. Herb Jones, Brandon Ingram, and Jonas Valanciunas. They also waived Jared Harper so they could sign Gary Clark to a 2-way deal. Gary Trent's out in Toronto. Do they start Svi? I don't think they will. I think they will start. They'll push Anunoby and Barnes down, and they'll probably start Birch or Achua or Boucher. What other interesting things do we have going on today? Patrick Beverley questionable, Darren Fox questionable, Luka Doncic upgraded to questionable, Finney Smith questionable, Ja Morant and Desmond Bane both questionable still. You're going to be shocked to know this, but LeBron is on the injury report as probable. Stunning behavior, that is. How is everyone? You're good? Everyone that's here? We're going okay? Drew is out for Monday. Yes. Who's the pickup in Portland, Vulcan says. If I can find your thing, I'll put it up. Anthony Simons, clearly. Dennis Smith gets a boost. Missy Little gets a boost. I don't think there's anyone who's going to be a real Big 12 teamer. Simons is the obvious one. We should be getting a Dame update in a few days as well. His reevaluation period is over. And as I've said before, if you can get anything in a trade for Damian Lillard, I think you have to do it. Tony Snell or Ben McLemore is the other one in Portland who might be an interesting option there because he will get some shot attempts for sure. How much should we be worried that CJ isn't coming back to Portland anytime soon? JP, what I have heard is CJ is pretty much healthy at the moment, not far off. They're just prolonging it a little bit, and I believe he has some personal leave coming up. I believe he's about to have a child, so that'll probably push him back. I would think I think he'll be back this season. I don't think there's any doubt in that. But we're probably looking maybe 10 days for CJ is my guess at this point. Yes, Koo. Absolutely. Clay is minimum salary on Draft Stars. We're going to talk about that in a second. John's asking for a package drop. All right. Let's go.
The package!
Will Gafford maintain his role when Rui and Thomas return? I don't think Rui impacts it really at all. Brian, it's the big question, isn't it? We don't know. They've got 3 centres. Bryant's a centre coming back off an ACL tear. I would, if I was Wes Unside, I would continue to start Gafford. I just don't know. It is a massive question mark. How do they fit those 3 guys in? Do I trade for Dame? No, absolutely not. Do not accept a trade where you're getting Damian Lillard back. Do not accept any trade getting Damian Lillard back unless it's Dynasty. All right. Should we do some DFS now? I'm just checking if there's more news here. Patrick Beverley unlikely to play. There you go. I'm just going through what news there is. Derek Favors is back. Ken Birch is going to start for Toronto, not Mihailuk. So that needs to be changed on that screen. I'm just going to make that change myself. So they're pushing everybody down positions here, I'm guessing. All right, so Birch over Mihailuk. Yes. What other lineups do we have confirmed here? I think that's the major one. Yeah, so Birch will come in there. All right, let's do some DFS. How about that? We'll start with Yahoo. Okay. I'll get to questions in a sec. Let's start with Yahoo and DFS. In terms of the top end guys who I do like, LeBron, I like Towns, I like Curry. If Morant plays, I would like him. I like Christian Wood quite a bit. I like Vooch. And for the lower price guys, we're looking at Kleber, Bagley, Jermichael Green, Jeremiah Robinson-Earl, Josh Christopher, Eric Gordon, Nasir Little, Chetty Osman, I like quite a bit. And my lineup is Curry, Christopher, Barton, Eric Gordon, Bagley, LeBron, Jermichael Green, and Karl Anthony Towns. Let's get to Draft Stars, where Koo already spoiled the news. Now, Draft Stars is weird because the early games, the Washington, Orlando, Pelicans, Raptors game aren't included. But guys I like, Jermichael Green, Bagley, Klay Thompson, minimum salary, Ben McLemore, Will Barton, Aaron Gordon, Chetty Osman, Anthony Simons, LeBron James, Alex Len. Starting with, or most likely starting with, Damian Jones and Rashawn Holmes, both in COVID protocols. So yeah, some options there for us. I like Jared Vanderbilt, Harrison Barnes, Karl Anthony Towns, the Wild Thing, Jayshawn Tate.
Even the Wild Thing's gone well. I can't do much about that.
And a lineup for Draft Stars has Westbrook, Simons, Klay, Barton, Osman, LeBron, Jermichael, Bagley, and Len. Do DraftKings in a second. We'll just get across to some more chat questions. Yep, Birch is starting. He's not starting in front of Gary Trent James because Gary Trent is out. Eleven says, I sold Giddey and Love high for Turner and Dinwiddie. Did I sell high too early on Giddey? I think Turner's the best player there, so it's a pretty good move to get that. Dinwiddie I'm not massively keen on. I think he's very much a fringe player. I don't mind the trade overall, though. Will Beasley get the start today? Well, we don't know, because we don't know whether Beverley is out yet, do we? Or has that been announced? Oh, Patrick Beverley got announced he is out. They didn't start him last game. I think they'll go back to McDaniels. Yes, Melton is must roster. When is Hartenstein coming back? I'd expect middle of the week. When players are questionable and they are facing a better team, does that boost the chance of them playing? No, it doesn't. I think we tried to read too many strategies and things into it when it's just not what happens, I don't believe. And I think you can just twist yourself into knots trying to think about those things. And this leads to deleterious effects to your fantasy team. So I would... There's so many things people look... he's in his hometown, and now it's his birthday, and now it's a revenge game, and now it's this game, and now it's... Something's happening, and now they're playing a better team. Look, I think you read too many of these factors in. In the end, it doesn't do anything. The impact is so negligible. Jericho says, over the past few weekends, the news page on Basketball Monster shows certain players' names with a percentage next to them. What does it mean? Well, what it means is when a player gets out, it shows other players on that team who've had the largest rise in roster percentages, like who's been added the most, to give you an idea of where the trends are. So, for example, like we've got like Isaiah Livers out in Detroit. Yeah, Trey Lyles has been boosted by 3%. So he's been added in an additional 3% of leagues over the last 12 hours or whatever it is. So just showing you who sort of the trending player is on that team and whether they get boosts or not. Is Derrick Rose worth stashing in? No, absolutely not, Shubil. Chris Jumalon, I talked about that extensively on the waiver wire show earlier today. Bol is not a center. He just isn't. Maybe they'll play him at center, but I think they'd be absolutely ridiculously stupid to limit. I don't think Stewart's a very good player. I think he's fine. He's solid. He can be an okay starting center, backup center. Bol is neither of those things. I think you should be worried with Stewart with the return of Olynyk and the fact that he's not playing well, but I don't think they're just going to go, all right, we've just traded Bol. Here he is. Stewart, sit down. We're playing Bol 30. I would be stunned. On Basketball Monster, the live results link goes to daily summary. Why? Not a big deal. Those two don't match and it's strange to me. Isn't it the same thing? Well, I actually don't know what you're talking about, JP. Live results and what? Daily summary. What's daily summary? The live results is the daily summary. I don't know what you mean exactly. Okay. Is Brooks worth holding? No, he's not. Powell's out. Does Dennis Smith have value? Yeah, I think he will because they'll have to push Simons across to the 2. So yeah, Dennis Smith does have value today. What was I saying about Lance Stevenson? He's not very good, and he's a shit bloke. That's what I was saying about Lance Stevenson. Do I think Luka's ankle will be all season? I think there's a chance that, yeah, there is going to be issues with his ankle all season. He's had multiple ankle injuries for a couple of years. I am a bit worried about it coming back and forward. What are my thoughts on the Hawks' porous defense? Yeah, it's really bad at the moment, isn't it? But yeah, the Clippers only scored 106. But it isn't great, is it? Their Hawks' defense, it's pretty poor. We're going to do DraftKings in a second. Actually, let's just do it right now. All right, let's go to DraftKings and see who we like over there. Garrett Temple, Alexander Walker, Robinson Earl, Macklemore, Jermichael Green, The Wild Thing, Jayshawn Tate, Mo Bamba, Will Barton, Melton, Christian Wood, Aaron Gordon, Dan Gafford, Kim Birch, Anthony Simons, Harrison Barnes, Cole Anthony, Kevin Porter. And my lineup on DraftKings is Alexander Walker, Cole Anthony, DeAnthony Melton, LeBron James, Garrett Temple, Jermichael Green, Mo Bamba, and Karl Anthony Towns. And then lastly, we'll do FanDuel, as Americans would say. Dan Gafford, Garrett Temple, Mo Bamba, Alexander Walker, Brunson, Bagley, Len, Wood, Harrison Barnes, Nasir Little, Cole Anthony, Brandon Ingram, Vanderbilt Bar, Covington, Aaron Gordon, Anunoby, Jokic, Valanciunas, Nurkic, Westbrook, LeBron. And my lineup is Cole Anthony, Jalen Brunson, Nickeil Alexander Walker, D'Angelo Russell, Kevin Porter, LeBron James, Christian Wood, Marvin Bagley, and Daniel Gafford. Okay. We all good in here? What are my thoughts on Dosunmu today? I don't think he'll do what he did last game. He was really good last game. I don't think that is a likely repeat. Do I think Bogdan can make one of those late season pushes like last year? No, I would bet against it. Last year he was doing it without Reddish and without Hunter. And this year Reddish is there. Hunter will return. And Delon Wright's around as well. I think it's going to be really tough. And he paired that with like 46% three-point shooting. I think it's pretty tough to replicate. Is Al Horford a drop or a buy low? I think he's neither of those things. I think he's a hold, but he's not a buy low. What he was doing at the start of the season was not representative of how I view Al Horford. It was very much that sell high. He was doing shit that was unlikely or stuff that made no sense compared to the rest of the last 5 years of his career. I wouldn't drop him. It is moving towards that, but I wouldn't drop him. But I also wouldn't be, I think he's going to get much better than this. I'd just be holding, and if I don't have him, I just leave him. Any news on the concept that is JI? No, absolutely no news on that concept. What's my prediction on Clay's roles and minutes? He's going to start. He's going to play 15 to 20 minutes. Is a top 30, 40 player enough for a return on Jimmy Butler? Look, if I've had Jimmy Butler and I've already dealt with this bullshit so far, he's had 2 injuries. Does that mean there's going to be repeat injuries? Not necessarily. If I've held through all of this, I reckon I just hold him. Model X says, Josh, you sound sick. I am sick. I hope I get better soon too. With Dylan Brooks out, is Conchar a 14-team points pickup? Well, Conchar's out as well. I think they're going to play Zaire over Conchar. I think Conchar is probably more of a 16-team pickup. Doncic is back, by the way. He's playing. Good news. Finney Smith also playing. Let me refresh this again. Not refresh, but state this again to you guys. If you have Damian Lillard, I can't say what I want to say. If you have Damian Lillard, trade him for a top 75. Honestly, I have a little bit of doubt, but honestly, I reckon I'd almost take any top 100 player back for Lillard at this point. Yeah. Is Caruso must pick up? Brian, well, he was must roster before the injury and before COVID. So I think probably yes, although I'm a little skeptical. Probably yes. Is Patrick Beverley possibly playing? I believe he has been ruled out. No, Beverley is out. So no, I don't possibly playing, no. They said he's unlikely to play. Sorry, but no. Would I stream Gary Harris or Tyus Jones tonight? Well, considering we don't have information on Ja Morant, I would take Gary. Jason Wisniewski says, how many points for Clay today? I went the under of 11.5. So, yeah. I think I've got him at like 10.5. Or 10 points is what I've got him projected for, sorry. Rui's coming back today, and Bryant is supposed to come back next week. Who would I say is the best option for fantasy in the Wizards front court? Probably Daniel Gafford. He's been the best option all season. He's been better than Kuzma. He's been better than Harrell. But it's really a huge mess. I don't know how they're going to run things. A Dame and CJ both a must trade away. Dame, yes. CJ, no. I do believe CJ will be back. But he is a guy that's had so many injuries over the course of his career that I do think that if you could get a top 50 player in a trade, you would do it. But I'm not just giving him away. Lillard, I would. Again, I can't say what I want to say. But I'm just... And I can't be 100% on this either. But I know that if I had Lillard, and I do have him in one league, but it's a league with no trades. But if I had Lillard, he would be out of there. He would be gone if I had him. What is the deal with Sadiq Bey? He was the focal point and carried the Pistons when everyone was out, but now it looks to me the others won't include him as a top shooter because he is not that good. Yes, he was doing everything because Cade was out, Killian was out, Grant is out, Olynyk is out, Stewart is out. It was him. He had to do everything. And then there's other players come back, and he has to move into the role which he is suited for, and that is being a spot-up 3-and-D type player. That's what he needs to do. All right. Are you primarily analyzing for redraft or dynasty as well? In general, like newbie, what would I say, if there's no context given to it, is for a 12-team, 9-category redraft league. That's generally what I'm talking about, because that is, 70% of people playing fantasy. That's what we're doing. But you want to give me something specific for Dynasty, I'll throw it out there. And I'll throw Dynasty comments on players all over the place, when I see something specific. But if it's a non-specified scenario, I'm talking 9-cat, 12-team leagues. How many non-COVID players do I think I can name from each team minimum? Everyone. How soon will Lance lose value? Well, as soon as one of Brogdon or Levert come back, one of those guys come back, he loses value. Two of them come back, he loses more value. So whenever that is, and that might be tomorrow. Best case scenario for TJ Warren? Best case, I think, is probably top 90. Absolute best case. But who knows when this bloke's coming back? Do I like category leagues or points more? Always categories for me. Not a points league fan at all, but I do points league content because I know that some people like playing it, and I think points league have a great value in bringing people in for the first time and beginners into fantasy basketball, and I want more people to play fantasy basketball. So that's why I do respect points leagues in that situation. I don't like playing them personally, but I talk about them because people play them. Will Suggs' return affect Harris so much? I think it almost has to. Can't you? Harris was playing like 24 minutes a night before Suggs got hurt. Now he's playing 34. So I don't think they're going to prioritize Gary Harris over the number 5 pick in the draft long term. They're not going anywhere. So Suggs is going to get his minutes back, and I think Harris is going to lose a lot because eventually Fultz is going to return too. And I don't know where Harris fits in there. Brody says, how many bad games in a row from here on out are you giving Poole before you drop him? Well, context is always very important, I think, Brody. Because I look at this and I say, well, if he comes out and plays 12 minutes and gets 2 shots, then he's probably gone straight away. If he comes out and plays 26 minutes but goes 3 of 7 for 8 points, then I'll hold because those minutes are still fine. And if he does that for 3 or 4 games in a row and still can't get into the flow of things, then I drop. But it really is going to be dependent on what those games actually show me. Are they preferring Peyton over Poole? I don't know. So it's not like he has 3 games, and if 3 games are not 12-team, he's gone. It might be 1, it might be 5, it might be hold all the way through. I just don't know yet. Robert, if anyone takes Damian Lillard in exchange for Ingram, they are stupid. But you never know, man. You never know. Who does better today, DeRozan or Kuzma? Surely DeRozan. Has to be DeRozan. Almost definitely DeRozan. 100% DeRozan, in fact. I'll stake it on that. Per data, 48. 9-cat, 14-team dynasty. Who's a great sleeper for next season? I like a Kongwu a lot. Year 3 for him. Yeah, him, to me. If you could package Desmond Bain and Zubats for a big, were you asking me? Who would I target? Look, you got to go real high, to be fair. Like, Ayton? Bain is going to have prolonged value now that Brooks is out for weeks. Maybe months, to be honest. Is Vassell a hold in a 14-team category? Yes, Jonathan. Pick up Hartenstein over Nance or Okongwu. It's a tough one, Ben. Yeah, I think the upside is higher there for Hartenstein, but we don't know when he's going to come back, and we also do not know what Ty Lue is going to do. Minibar, there's just no way of knowing this. Like, Ingram would be rested when their respective teams start tanking. These teams are bad now. Are they going to start? I don't know. I think trying to base your decisions based on this stuff, when it just doesn't, I don't know, it just doesn't happen as often as it's made out to happen. Is France still worth holding? Absolutely he is. Patrick, I feel like I've answered that 3 times already. Is Brooks worth holding? No. He's out for too long. What about Kevin Porter? Who's C. Johnson? I'm blanking. Who the hell is C. Johnson? Am I missing something? I know there's probably an obvious answer there, and I just cannot think of it. Who the hell is C. Johnson? All I'm thinking is like Calvin Johnson. And I don't think Megatron's putting up fantasy basketball stats. Honestly, I've got no idea who you're talking about. When do I think Karis LeVert will return? Well, soon. Like, next game? Let's have a look. What's he currently? He's listed as out for Monday. If he's not back Wednesday, I'll be pretty surprised. Will he keep playing well? Well, that's Cam Johnson, of course. Will Karis LeVert keep playing well? Don't know. That's the tough one, isn't it? I think he'll probably drop a little bit, but he can still be solid. So let's go. Kevin Porter versus Cam Johnson. Who performs better today? Phoenix isn't even playing, so that can't be what you're asking me, beta. Long term, I'd probably still take Porter. Is Dennis Smith worth a watch with Powell out? Absolutely he is, because that means Simons is going to have to play more at the 2, although they can start Macklemore, or there's Trendon Watford as well. But yes, I think Smith maybe pushes to 20 minutes. Ariel Kadstan. Do you think Jamal Murray would return before April? If so, who would get the biggest hit on the Nuggets? What's the point guards? Campazzo and Morris. Pretty clearly, those guys just drop way off. Do I think he'll return before April? I think there's a chance he's back in March. I wouldn't bank on too much more than that. Not many ACL guys we've seen come back before 12 months. Isaac is going to be at least 12 to 15 years. Fultz is over 12 months. Bryant is over 12 months. Not many we're seeing come back within 12, are we? Especially full tears. Olynyk news? Question mark? No. Not that I've seen. Let's go to the news page and see if anything's happening there. All right. Ebinho says, I think Nurkic will get better production if Lillard is out long term. Yes, I do. I cannot say anything about Damian Lillard at this point. Okay. But I will be able to say something, I think, soon. Am I feeling all right? Not really. I'm not 100% at all. Malik Monk, rest of season value? I hope so, but I am worried that they'll tinker with that rotation a little bit. And then when Davis returns, there will be a drop for sure. All right, we're going to be ready to clear out of here. It's been great chatting to you guys. I did see a question I wanted to talk about because people are absolutely all over this bloke. What are the odds that Yurtseven remains at least an 8 rebound per game guy when Bam is back? Almost zero chance. You know how hard it is to be an 8 rebound per game player? Like, it is more likely that he plays 0 minutes a game than his 8 rebounds in my mind. Like, he could be the third string center. Like, 8 rebounds, it's bloody hard to do, man. Do I think Rui will be a 12-team must roster? Absolutely not. All right, we are ready to get out of here. Guys, thanks for being a part of the show. Hit the thumbs up on the way out. That would be great if you could do it. Straight after this is a what to watch for coming, and then I'll see you for the recap later today. All right, guys, I'll see you later. Bye.